So I'm vlogging on my bed. It's kind of weird, tight space here, but yeah, gotta make the most of what I have. Hi so guys, welcome back to my channel. Anna Vanessa here. I know it has been a while. For those that are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. For those of you guys who are supporting me, thank you so much for your support. Yeah, so I just want to dive straight into the video. So as by the title, I'm going to be telling a story, and it's, I don't know, it's quite an emotional story. So get your tea or your coffee. Ooh, let me get some coffee. Let me actually get coffee because it's gonna be a long, actually I think I should get my special drink. So here's my special drink. It's literally just turmeric with a bit of apple cider vinegar in water, and then I just like sip on it. But it's really nice. I really like it. You just don't need to pour in a lot of apple cider because it's very acidic. So but it helps like with cleaning of the stomach, and you know, that's why I like drinking it. But let me get into the story. The story that I'm gonna share with you guys is like when I was in a rotation. So that rotation just means like as you're a medical student, you rotate in different departments, but I won't share which department specifically because then like most people will know which department I was rotating in. So I'll just like I'll just share the experience that the thing that I experienced in that department. Okay, so I was working in this department that was very demanding, and that means like you wake up really early. You have to see your patients like at 5:30 a.m. and then after that you still have to see patients with your seniors, and after that you still have ward work to do. So meaning like to do the bloods of the patient, or you know, if there's a drain to be removed, you know, just do the ward work. So you'd get home like around, I think around 4, 5, 6 on a good day, on a bad day around 6, maybe around on a good day around 3, 2. Yeah, there. As like a final year medical student, you're kind of given patients that you need to take care of. So if you're 5 students in this certain department, then you guys have to split all the patients amongst yourselves. Okay, so that's what we did, and I think I ended up, or like we each ended up with like 8 or 9 patients. And I mean, which is not a lot actually, because in this department that I'm currently in now, I have to look after like 22 patients, or like I have to know 22 patients, which is actually not that easy because you have to read up on the patient's condition and see what improvement in that patient's care you want to give. Okay, so anyways, I'm digressing. So I was working in this department, and I mean, you know, there's a day that I came early, like super early. I was like super proud of myself, like, oh my gosh. But I'm a morning person, so I usually like wake up around 3, 4. So I don't really struggle waking up in the morning. Yeah, I'm a morning person. So I woke up. Let me just switch my phone off. So then I woke up in the morning, and you know, I'm like, it's gonna be a good day. You know, I played my Christian jams, you know, those jams that you just need to like,
Jesus, you love me too much, oh, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh. Jesus, you love me too much, oh.
you're just there like, thank you Lord for this day. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. So like I was there like, yes girl, like this is gonna be a good day. Like you're gonna see all your patients, and like you're gonna do well, and like just trying to be excited for the day. Sometimes you just need to have that positive attitude. Even if things get really, really monotonous, sometimes you need to have that positive attitude, because positive attitude changes everything. So you just need to be positive. You need to tell yourself, I'm gonna have the best day. I'm gonna have the most amazing day, or the most awesomest day ever. So I told myself that. I drove to the hospital. I was playing my music. I was so excited. And then I get to the hospital. So I get there around, I wanna say this time I got there like around 5:30, I think. So when I got there, usually I start seeing my patients from the first room, but this day I was like, okay, let me start seeing my patients from the last room, like backwards, and not like basically anti-clockwise and not clockwise. I felt like something was just telling me, which I think is that voice that we all have in us, that still small voice of the Holy Spirit just telling us, do this. Sometimes we don't listen to that voice, but on this day I was like, oh, okay, let me do that. So I started from the last room. I immediately realized that, what, God, this is why He said I should start in that room. So I got to the room, and there are like 2 beds in that room, and bed 1, or the first bed, had a patient, and he was just lying there, and it was one of my patients. So I called his name, and he was not responding. So immediately I was like, am I not calling loud enough? Because people say my voice is very squeaky and whatnot. But anyways, I called him, and he did not respond. I was like, my goodness, why is he not responding? And I'm a very emotional person already. So then I go to him, and I'm like trying to wake up, sir. Like, why aren't you waking up? And that's when I realized that this man is not breathing. I was like, what? Oh my goodness, Lord, help me. Like, I know I've been in like several instances where like I would join in CPR, which is cardiopulmonary resuscitation, but I've never been the one to actually find a patient and to initiate the resuscitation. But we're trained for these things. Like we're trained in case these things happen. So I found this patient, he was not responding, and immediately I called for help, called the nurses and the other medical students who were present, and I was like, this patient is not breathing, and I felt his pulse, which I felt it was still there. So immediately we started commencing CPR, and just decided to even just go on the bed and really like do the proper CPR, and then we did that. We did it like for a while. We did it for a while, and the patient was not responding at all, and it just hit me that this patient was probably not gonna come back to life. It was like one of those sad moments, knowing that you're in this profession as a doctor or future doctor to be, and I mean your purpose or function is to kind of like save lives. It is to save lives, and you're here and this patient did not come back to life. They ended up, dying, and it was one of those moments where I realized that you could try your best, and if God says this is to happen, then not even a doctor can come and bring the person back. And I think also just thinking that, like, especially for me being a Christian medic, and I mean really truly believing that God really does heal, and he has these miracles. I was there that day, and I actually cried. I want people to be well, and I want you to use me so that they can be well. So why did this person die? And then you realize that some things they're not in your control, and it's God in the end that ends up deciding some things to happen. I remember that day many people came out, and like especially the students, they came out and they were sharing their stories as well of like doing a CPR and that not being successful, and the nurses as well. And it was like a very supportive environment, and then I just realized that as medical professionals or people who are in the medical field, we actually see a lot of things that most normal people don't even or shouldn't even be seeing. You see people die on a daily basis, and some people go like, oh my gosh, this doctor or this nurse is very rude, she's very insensitive, she doesn't like people, she's always antisocial, throwing around weird comments. But I mean, the fact is, it's very hard to handle it sometimes. You just decide to kind of like develop this, let me say, defense mechanism where you just put up this wall where you're like, you're gonna act tough, because I mean, you can't be crying like for 20 patients that die, and you're always just emotionally traumatized. It's not a nice thing, but I guess that's why many nurses, doctors, or people who work closely with other people, develop this thing of like being tough, a defense mechanism. I feel personally that as medical students, especially at UNAM, I don't know if there is, but I haven't seen or I haven't experienced one whereby if you go through such traumatic experiences, you actually get counseling, or someone to talk to about such things. Because now it's like you're put in this system where you have to deal with some things yourself emotionally, and some of us are very emotional beings. Like right now I want to cry, but I'm not gonna cry. Like a system where they could actually like allow us as students, or just doctors even, or nurses, or everyone in the field to sit down and just talk to someone about these things, and someone who will actually really listen. And I mean, sometimes we have our family members to listen to us. I mean, like that day specifically, I went and spoke to my sister, my younger sister. Like, shout out to you, girl, shout out. But I spoke to her, and just being able to release my deep feelings out to her really helped me. It like reduced a load from my shoulders, and it helped me to see that I was a bit hard on myself, because I really did not want this patient to die, but they ended up dying. And yeah, so it was like a release mechanism, and I generally really feel that that's something that our system lacks, and we should probably look into that. So if anyone is watching this video and they're probably in the health system, or they know someone who is in power up there in the country that could change things, you know, share with them that, you know, people, like, we have to go through so much, like, different traumatic things every day, but we have to make it normal. Like, it's so weird, you know. And it's like nobody really warns you. Nobody really warns you of what's gonna happen, you know. You don't know what's gonna happen, so you always just need to be prepared. What helped me was my faith in God, and knowing that God has planned everything and there's a purpose for everything that happens. And just being a Christian, you know, that's also helping me, my faith, a lot. But I mean, you get those that don't really believe in God, or those that don't, like, you know, have like faith, or many medical doctors or health professionals end up taking, you know, antidepressants, and it's really deep. Even if you're a Christian, I'm not saying you're immune to such things happening to you, like depression, but I think you just really need to find a support system for yourself as well. So that's an advice that I want to give to the younger years. If you're watching this, or even if you're just a student as well, like, share what you've been going through, share some ideas of relief. How can you know, let go of some things, you know. But I really strongly feel that our system needs to develop in a way where, like, we have that, I want to say, post-traumatic counseling, just a space where we can speak about things openly, because these things do exist. So yeah, guys, that was my story time. I know it was, you know, a bit deep, but I really do feel strongly about that. And I mean, the reason why I'm sharing this is to, you know, for other people to see that, you know, medicine isn't that glamorous. I know people are like, oh my gosh, like, you're becoming a doctor, it must be so nice. But there's definitely, like, so many things that you need to sacrifice, and especially working with people, because you're working with many people, and you kind of have to adapt to that environment as well. And just next time when you see someone who's a doctor and who's rude, or who's a sister or a nurse or someone in the health profession, and they're rude a bit, I mean, don't always, like, be tough to judge, like, oh my gosh, this person is so rude. Like, no, this person could be going through some rough things as well, because it's pretty deep. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please do like, subscribe, and I hope you guys also had, like, your little drinks, like, while we were having this story time. Please do like, guys. Thank you. Subscribe as well, and, you know, just share if you feel like this video is worth sharing. Share with your friends and families. And yeah, thank you guys for supporting me, and I will see y'all in the next video. Okay, bye guys.